Bryan is innocent. Bryan has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Bryan's innocent. Your Honor, Bryan is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Listen up, the ashes stir, phoenix wings unfurl, seeking truth beneath the blur. Turnings for the lax, they meet the blur. Out the flames, I rise, wings scorched but unbroken. Truth the blaze, I wield, every rhyme's a token. In the nest we move, hearts stumping unison. Searching for the light where the system cuts our wisdom. Built on lies and steel, they boxed us in cages. Now we break the locks, rewrite history's pages. Innocent until proven guilty, that's the oath we recite. Under this constitution, we ignite the night. We rise like a phoenix and sink, we claim the street. Nest seekers united, our freedom can't be beat. Stand up when one falls, yeah we got your back. In a free land unbroken, we launch the righteous attack. Justice for the voiceless, break the chains of deceit. Innocent till proven guilty, our victory's complete. System cracked at the seams, built for just a few. We rip apart the scheme, bring the truth into view. Movement swells like thunder, souls fueled by conviction. Phoenix souls aligned, demanding our new vision. Marching on the courthouse, banners paint the sky. Echoes of freedom roar, watch the old guard comply. No more hidden verdicts, no more secrets solved. Every voice is a weapon, every story be told. Innocent till proven guilty, that's our final decree. Under this constitution we stand forever free. Phoenix in the dawn, truth ignites the sky. Together we stand tall, no more asking why.
Good morning, everyone. I hope your holiday was restful. I hope you didn't labor on Labor Day. So welcome back. Today is September 2nd. Holy wow. Just wow. This year has flown by so fast. And I just want to thank everyone here today. There are some OGs in the house. Just welcome you all in. We've got an exciting topic today and a follow-up from my last video that had people going, what is going on in Moscow, Idaho? We all know what's going on there by now. Hey, Patty. Hey, Dana, Leanna, Donna Rosa. Welcome in the house, Rebecca. Good to see you guys. Hey, Judy. Hey, Vibrations from Mirror. Welcome in. Rebecca, hey, we nesters got to stick together, more powerful than alone. Abso-freaking-lutely. And that's something that they didn't count on. Being united and being able to think outside the box they put us in. So, hey, Mary, welcome. Welcome in, everyone. So, hopefully you did have a lot of rest yesterday. Hopefully those who did work actually got paid overtime, hopefully. And the topic that we are talking about is so controversial. This is the topic that has gotten the natives riled up, that are spreading the narrative that Kohberger is 100% guilty. And here's my question to those people, because I know you're watching. How in the world did Kohberger outsmart MPD, ISP, and the FBI? And who caught him? Whose unknown 3 male DNA are present but not identified, and possibly 2 female DNA unknown? How did he outsmart y'all? That is the question of the century. I have a theory behind that. However, let's get into the forgotten witnesses in the IDAHO4, because don't you want to know who those people were that witnessed certain things that they just ignored? Yes, absolutely. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Brittany. Kathy, welcome in. So I'm just getting started. And you know what? This is real. This is response. It's spontaneous lives. Nothing is planned. You don't see no flashy screen and everything. I've not rehearsed anything. The only thing I've written down is a few things I want to discuss and the documents that I'll always refer to, which are true factual statements in this case released to the public. And before I do that, really quick, you guys know this amazing website that we are all part of. We have built this. We have supported this home website for us. And I just want to show you what was updated this weekend. If you haven't seen yet, it is factually live. And that is our Justice for All website. I have updated it with pictures that the ISP has recently released in regards to Bryan Kohberger, and his reading choices that were left were very meticulous to his own personal situation, especially the book, Why the Innocent Plead Guilty and the Guilty Go Free. Is this one big psyop? I think there's a component, but is this really one big cover up? Probably. In my humble opinion, allegedly, that's what it's looking like. And on this website, there's a donate button to keep the website flowing and going. You can donate if you wish. On the Bryan Kohberger button, it does connect to the same documents that are here right on this tab that says Bryan C. Kohberger Documents. There is a button for the Innocent Project, and you can go down there and you can go to their actual website and learn everything that they do. Autism Innocence Project. You can go to them. And right from our website, you can actually go back, look at the tab menu, and there's a DOJ sample letter. And I challenge every single one of you that do believe Kohberger is factually innocent. That means no contact, no known persons in the house, not even in the area, possibly seen somewhere else per a witness statement. I mean, the list goes on, guys. That DOJ letter is a sample letter you can download. You can fill it out. You can send it right to the DOJ. It is just a sample letter. You can write what you want, but then there's obviously you can see all this right from the website. So what does all this mean? I mean, you can go back and you can look at other things on this website, which I actually am happy it's all in one location. You can see a highlight video gallery that I added where it says no motive, plea deal press conference, and then no nothing. They had no nothing, guys. And then I put some images of interest. And why do I think this is some big cover up? I believe our justice system, our leaders know that there was no nothing. That is exactly what President Trump tweeted. There is no nothing. And I hope that the judge makes a minimum explain why he did these horrible murders. Now, I believe that wasn't part of the deal because he can't explain. He doesn't know. And if he does know, he is a freaking mastermind. If he allegedly made all this happen. Did he control people to go do this? This is the new theory out there, guys. Were they connected in any way to the 3-4 suspects that he noted because of the survey questions and answers? We don't know. It's just a theory floating out there. What? Was he like the new Manson? I don't know. But he fooled Moscow Police Department and the ISP, and the FBI dropped his name? Now, come on, folks. These guys got 30, 22 years. I mean, you can go in the police department and see how many years these guys had. Tons. ISP, tons of experience. They know what they're doing, unless they're trying to make it seem like they don't know what they're doing to the general public. I mean, which one is it? You can't have it both ways. Do you have experienced, competent people in the police department? Yes or no? Do you have experienced, competent people in the Idaho State Police? Yes or no? Which one is it? Because if you go back to the video gallery, folks, these guys right here in this video and the Kohberger conference, they have no idea. They have nothing. So think about that for 1 second. So are you telling me that these incompetent police officers are still in charge? Are you telling me this? Because then we've got a real concern on our hands. Real concern. So let's get into it. let's get to the witnesses that have been forgotten. Who am I talking about? Well, let's think about this for a second. The video I made the other day has got them up in arms. Up in arms, folks. Why would a video get people so up in arms that, oh no, that's the wrong guy. You've got the wrong guy. You're talking about the wrong guy. It is definitely not the frat guy. Why do you think that they would make it seem like I got it wrong? Are you telling me the policeman got it wrong that took the report? Because I'll show you the report again. We'll review the report again. And then I'll go back and I'll tell you exactly what I think's going on. Well, they don't want that either, right? They don't want that either, but I'm going to do it anyways. So this report that I went over the other day in my video, I did a live on it, and then I made a video, because I did a video exactly what my live was, because some people can't watch a live. Very few of us are able to even do lives. John Rosinski on 11/14/22, a day after the unaliving, right in the early morning, he writes this report. I was in charge of scene security. This is what it's saying. I was in charge of the K-bar follow-up, and I was in charge of PR interview. Now, why was Rosinski? Let's have some logical, critical thinking here. Why was he in charge of doing this? Let me throw it up on the stage for you to see. Why was he in charge of doing this? Why do you think? Why do you think? Thanks, Patty. I'm too loud. I'm getting feisty Phoenix in the house. Phoenix and the Nesters are the best. Oh, you're so sweet. Why do you think he was in charge of these three things? Well, let's think about it. One, he was there at the scene. Okay? Because he says, I received a phone call advising me there was a quadruple homicide at 1122 King Road. And if I'm too loud, there's a little button to lower your volume. I just get passionate sometimes. And then he says, I arrived at the police department, put my police uniform issued on. That means he was off duty, folks. He had to go to the police department. He had to park his personal car, get his body cam, get his uniform, and go over and relieve Officer Warner, who was at the 1122 King Road at the door you see on video, holding scene security and maintaining a log of who came and went out of the apartment or the house at the front door. Now, we've seen this video. I mean, did you not notice that somebody was outside the door tracking who was coming in and out? And yes, I have seen Law and Crime. I saw the new documentary on Tubi that the Law and Crime people are on there. That's who I follow. I love these guys. But have we seen the guy standing outside the door? Let me grab the video, just in case for those of you new to the channel that haven't seen what I'm talking about. This video's got 1.5 million views now. Wow, right? So let me share this and this video. I'm sure you guys have seen this video. A lot of people know this video by heart. And let me just show you where they put somebody outside the door. Immediately, they have somebody there as soon as they arrive.
Okay, let's clear.
Bam, right there. So this guy is at the door. He's responsible, that's Officer Warner, of anybody coming in and out the door. Why? Because they want to make sure they're documenting everything. So he goes ahead and he relieves Officer Warner and gets on the scene, and then he takes over. Okay, and then what does Officer Morris do? He takes over his duties, right? So he's at the scene for about 2 hours until he was relieved by Officer Morris. So he relieves Warner, Morris comes on scene, and then The next day, he learned that the sheath was left or found inside the apartment, the house. The sheath was tan in color and had a Marine Corps Eagle globe, yada, yada, yada. So he was tasked. Somebody told him, I need you to go to all the businesses in town and find out if this particular knife was sold anywhere around there. So he says, okay. So he followed up with Tri-State, Outfitters, Big Five Sporting Goods, Moscow Building Supplies, Spence Hardware, and Walmart. Each of the above stores didn't sell Ka-Bar knives. So obviously that indicated to them, well, it's not a local item, so we'll have to go get warrants online. Well, they do. But wait, he remembers, well, he's at Walmart, and I'm sure he asked questions to all these individuals. This is one of the forgotten witnesses. And why do I say forgotten? Because it seemed like this didn't even matter what the Walmart employee witnessed. And I'll get to that. Well, at Walmart, I was speaking with the staff member, S, whose name on the tag was showing me the knives on display. She told me about, this is the witness telling the officer, about 2 to 3 weeks ago, a white college-age male asked for a black ski mask that would cover his face. Now, here's the point I'm making to all these people saying, oh, that wasn't him. Listen, she was unable to provide much detail other than he was taller and that he had maybe tan skin complexion. Now, there's a reason this officer put this in the report the way he did. Not only does he mention what she says, but she also said, I told the male that we don't have any black ski masks and only camo. Blank said the male then walked away. And then he goes on to say, well, next on his report is an interview with PR. Now, how did he find PR, guys? Think about it. Why would he put 3 different things on one report if they didn't go together? Think about this for a minute. Okay, I'll wait. Because this woman said he was tan skin complexion. Now, how many tan skin complexion people are out in the middle of BFE, Idaho? I'm being real. I'm being raw. How many? Not many, probably. Not many. But I will say, he goes and he finds out who on campus, because the girl said at Walmart, college aged. So he knows it had to be somebody between 19 and 21-ish, perhaps, 22. Yeah, not very many, September Virgo. Yeah. Okay. So now that he knows this, he goes and he tracks down who it is. Who on campus could it possibly be? And bingo, bango. He goes and he speaks with PR at Memorial Gym. Okay. So why did he put all of these 3 tasks on one follow-up report? Because they go together. Look, he went and he had to go relieve Warner. Then he was told to go look for the knife in the community to see if it was bought. What he learned at Walmart, he followed up on. This is a good cop, guys. This is a freaking good cop. Intuitive, smart, logged it all together. Did anybody else know that what he did was going to be a crux for others? It's a breadcrumb. So he goes and he says, I spoke with PR at Memorial Gym substation. What's Memorial Gym substation, guys? What is it? It is a police station. Okay, on the campus. Memorial Gym substation. And this basically, I mean, they have these little I can't say the word, substations all over our communities. And they are there to police. Let's just say that. And when you look at it, he knew that he had to go over to the police department over there at U of I formally and go sit down and talk with them. Okay? Now I'm going to share with you something that basically says this is legit. So, Campus Division of the Moscow Police Department provides services to the campus community and serves as a liaison between the University of Idaho and the city of Moscow. The goal of Campus Division of Moscow Police Department is to develop a strong community policing partnership with students, staff, faculty, and administration of the U of I. This interactive partnership between the University of Idaho supports a campus environment that is safe and a fun place to study, work, live, and recreate. Great. Campus's service division operates out of UI Memorial Gym, Suite 111, located in the center of University of Idaho campus. Check. Okay. So he goes over there, and the campus division teams up with U of I Office of Public Safety and Security, Homeland Security, and Vandal Security to ensure our campuses are one of the safest in the United States. Now, they also have drug enforcement efforts because they know what's going on this campus. They continue to partner with Quad Cities Task Force, which is very large, law enforcement agencies, and prosecuting attorneys' offices in those counties. They work with Washington State Patrol, Bureau of Alcohol, ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and the investigation of prosecution of drug offenses in other respective jurisdictions. There you go. That's the Campus City Department. I hope you're following along with me. So we go back to the Moscow Police Department. So he meets them at Memorial Gym substation, which I just showed you. R is currently the blank for the fraternity blankety blank. He doesn't say who he's with, but we can only assume. If you go, and I will share with you two different pictures. This is PR. This is PR. Okay? Someone's made this post out of my video. That's okay. This is PR. Does he look white, tan skin? Yeah. Yeah, PR might be the guy that I'm talking about. PR. Okay. Well, what about this guy? They say this guy, let me take my banner off. They say this guy is Peyton Rossi. And it's all public information. No one is being doxxed. Hold on to your panties. Let me just say this. Peyton Rossi is right in front in the blue suit, red tie. And does he look like he's tan-skinned? I'll wait for a response from you viewers. Does it look like he's tan-skinned? Or could it possibly be this gentleman who's tan-skinned? Yeah, I'll wait for that one. So, you narrow it down and you say, who could this possibly be? Now, no matter what fraternity you belong to, some of these guys switch fraternities. Some of these guys decide, well, I'm going to rush here, but I'm actually going to join so-and-so. So some of these guys went to high school together. Some of these guys know each other. They try to stay within their own cliques, crowds, gangs, whatever you want to call them. They try to stay with their homeboys, right? That's generally how it goes. But sometimes they decide, I'm going to venture on my own and I'm going to join a different frat, but I can still remain friends with the people in the other frat, which they do. Which they do. So, Officer Rosinski says, R is currently the blank for the fraternity blank. I asked R if he could walk me through what he did the night of 11/12/22 in the early morning. He said, yada, 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 he was at a party. And that party was at the treehouse. It's an off-site campus for sorority blankety blank. Now, guys, this is what gives it away. And I'm glad I'm explaining this in more detail so some of you can use your logic. Now, the treehouse seems to be a place where a lot of people hang out, and it's referenced within all these reports. It's the treehouse, which is an off-campus house for the sorority blank. R did not know the specific address, but said the house is near the white apartments. So what, in your humble opinion, would be the treehouse? What would be the treehouse? I mean, I honestly believe that the treehouse sound like something high in the air that, you know, you climb, or something at the top of a mountain. Which one? I know you guys are going to keep telling me it's about Peyton. The officer wouldn't put it in his report. The light skin. Tan skin. And I know you're going to have a drove of people come in here to say, oh, I'm wrong, I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. Now what? I'm wrong. But I do know the individual I got right that got the ticket that night. So if that lines up, then why did this officer even write the report about going to talk to PR? You could have two different fraternities and friends in each. So he says he left about 2200 or 2300 and he went back and he watched a movie. He said he went back and watched a movie with these individuals. And then he said he went to go pick up these three individuals. And then they were alone and not with anyone. He said he dropped them off and went back to the apartment on King Road. He doesn't say what apartment. He just off at their apartment. And after he dropped him off, he went back home. So there's a lot of discrepancies with these documents. So why redacting these documents? Would that be helpful for the public to understand what happened? Or somebody that is looking to write a book or a script or a movie or something of that nature? Why would they redact so much to have you question the guy with the light tan skin complexion that could only be narrowed down in a college with fraternity members, that there's only one or two individuals that are tan skin, but only one individual's with the initials PR? Tell me that. Tell me that. Now, we'll talk next about the individual that observed Kohberger's face and knuckles before the murders, right? We've talked about this before. A lot of people are saying, oh, he showed up with wounds. They were before and after, which they don't tell you. These injuries were ignored. Why? The TA noticed the scratches. And before we compare how bystanders or retail workers sometimes provide crucial early tips that get buried, I mean, think about all the other lesser known details from the witnesses. Noisy cars, footprints, odd movements around King Road, all the cars coming in and out. Did investigators dismiss all that too much too soon? I mean, think about it. They overlooked a lot of witnesses in other cases, especially high-profile cases. They do the role of minor retail settings and tracking criminals. They go. And in this case, they followed up on some individuals that were shady, that were found to be lying, to the fact that one individual said, oh, I went to McDonald's and then I went to go buy beer for my friends. And do you know what the ISP did? They went down and tracked the McDonald's videotapes, video cameras, watched 11 hours of footage, and that individual never showed up on the footage. Yes, folks, that is factual. Yeah, I went to McDonald's, I went and got some beer, and they never saw them on any of the cameras. And let me grab that document for you. And that is, yep, factual documents that indicate this. And then he said, I went to go buy beer for so-and-so, and guess what? They didn't review any of the cameras. Well, they reviewed the cameras, but they said, nope, there wasn't anything on the cameras that showed him. They actually went and did their job, and they prove it. They absolutely say it in their documents. So when you start looking at these documents and you're wondering, what are they talking about? Why would they do this? They had other suspects that they knew about. And they had other witnesses that could possibly have known about it. This is the FBI. And let me grab the document. 121. Hold on, let me pull it up. I thought I had it on there. 0121. All right, page. This is one of the ones that I was like, what? Now, this is the only one the FBI did report, and that they were monitoring and surveilling these individuals all the way to Boise, which I thought was really interesting. So document 0121, let me put this on the screen for you. They go and they do a report. So this was a agency assist, and it says ISP and Detective Ryan O'Hara assisted with video collection and review related to the quadruple homicide. Here it is. So what do? They go and they look at all these witnesses. They're collecting evidence from a tip. And you can see all these witnesses, females, males, they're all college student aged. And they go down, and we go down to page 339. Remember, you can get all these reports right at the website Justice for All. And the tip that I want to look at is basically, I think it is, hold on a minute. This is the one where they show grub truck, they show purchases for Kaylee, and they get the email for Kaylee's financials. Here it is. So he says, went to this, that was the assistant manager. They needed to collect the footage. Okay, so Tip 5684, stinker footage. On December 3rd, they went and collected at the gas station in Moscow footage for a tip 5684. Detective Pal and I identified ourselves and explained to the assistant manager, blank, blank, we needed to collect footage, surveillance footage. They showed the camera view from the store. We determined the most useful cameras to identify persons and vehicles and asked them to download copies of the recorded footage of, and this is the key. I was like, why did they want to collect footage between 4 and 6 p.m.? That's what they asked for. November 12th between 4 and 6 p.m. He left with a thumb drive. Then he interviewed, he on the 18th, FBI agent Ryan O'Neill. They went to get an excerpt of the interview that was report at 4:30 and got a text from so-and-so that they had gone to take ibuprofen and stretch his back because it was bothering him. He'd been hunting recently and his back was sore from carrying his gear. Shortly thereafter, blank left blank and met up with blank. They went to McDonald's and blankety blank near heavily redacted where they bought a case of beer. Has been identified as an individual with the birth date of 2000. So then they go and they ask the camera angle register 1 that showed both registered. From this camera, each patron that were there purchasing is clearly visible. It did not appear blank or blank purchased beer or even entered the blank from 4 to 6 p.m. So this Idaho State Police officer knows, number one, that these two individuals told a story and they went to follow up on that story, pull the footage, and they weren't even there when they said they were there. So what does that tell you? Someone is fibbing. Someone is seriously lying. So not only do we have some people on camera lying their location and where they've been, we have more people lying to the FBI where they've been. Now, he said he went to McDonald's, right? So what do? They go and they basically go to McDonald's and they pull the McDonald's, right? They pull that. And they don't find him on there either. So now they know these two individuals are seriously blankety blank lying. So they go and they conduct an interview with someone else. And, you know, it just gets crazier and crazier how many interviews they go do to find who the individual is on the footage. They do find certain people on the camera footage that they begin getting suspicious of, and then the FBI goes and trails them. So there were other suspects, there were other witnesses that were able to put certain people at certain places at certain times. But this has what to do with Kohberger? Does this have something to do with Kohberger or not? I don't know. But look at all these evidence that they collect of people trying to corroborate their alibis, and they don't line up. So there's another sample of police work that was done really well by the ISP to verify why are we having so many of these people lie to us? Why? It leads for speculation, but when you narrow it down, you know exactly the individuals from the beginning. If you were following this case in the beginning, then you know exactly what I'm speaking about. If not, and you want to learn, go back, look at some other videos, go to the website. It has it all the way down from 0 to today to get you up to speed. There were so many overlooked witnesses in this case. Yes, the mask purchase, premeditation, scratches that Kohberger was said to have. Obviously, they thought he had a violent encounter. He's still having those issues in prison that we've seen from videos. Scratches on his hands or redness from washing his hands. It's not about just the DNA and digital forensic, guys. It's about what people saw, heard, knew, sent something, but voices that could have been drowned out. Why were they drowning out these witnesses? Did they want to just go ahead and continue to push their narrative? Because in this case, even the smallest overlooked clue could ignite the biggest truth known. And what is that truth today that we've seen? Kohberger doesn't even come close to what they were looking for. So why did they pin it on him? I mean, it raises some serious questions. These witnesses keep changing their testimony and their story. I mean, obviously, the grand jury heard from Bethany Funk, and now she's remained silent. So why all the secrecy? Why do you think that is? I mean, I can go over a few other witnesses that I have written down. I mean, newly released documents show there's obviously somebody who had serious injuries, that blood contact DNA was left. I mean, these victims suffered some serious defense injuries. This wasn't a quick one and done. Y'all, this took some time. It took some time. There's been memorials, scholarships, community support. They demolished the crime scene. I mean, we can get into all kinds of stuff, but think about the witnesses that saw the simplest things that have a huge impact on this case. But don't look over there, look over here. The distraction is real. This isn't just a high-profile case to be a high-profile case. There's a reason somebody put this out there. Is it political? Is it to hide and cover up what's happening on campuses? Because we're not just talking about 4 unalived students, 4 murdered students. There was one right before this that had an overdose. There was one right over here that had a suicide. There were 2 individuals before the Idaho4. 2. And we get the phone call of 911 for an unconscious individual. Was that an actual OD, an overdose that happened, and they covered it up with the stabbing? Or were there an actual fight that took out in the living area and the kitchen? Was there an actual argument or fight in that space? Could it have been that somebody accidentally overdosed and someone else found out about it and they lost control? Possibly. Because now that they knew something about him, were they covering that up to where they had to make a huge cover up of everything? Possible. Anything's possible. It's all speculation and theory. But absolutely, anything in this case is possible, because anything is possible because we're not being told the truth. I mean, drop a 1 if you think we're being told the truth. Are we being told the truth? We've looked and reviewed the grub truck in depth. Absolutely. In fact, was this an overdose? And because of that being such a drug-infested community, oh, Phoenix, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about on campus. Well, you know what? Right here, their own website, guys. Their own website. What did I just share with you? Drug enforcement efforts. Well, why would this be at Moscow at the University Campus Division? And what do? They provide educational presentations of university living, group staff, departments on a wide variety of topics such as alcohol abuse, personal safety, sexual assault, drugs, theft, etc. Yeah, they know what's going on in this campus, folks. How many other lawsuits were put in place before the Idaho 4? Almost 11 lawsuits. 11. Something is very wrong in this area. And if you go and you look at the Moscow annual reports, you'll see you can learn a lot from these reports, folks. You can go in their annual reports and you can definitely see the amount, of, hold on, where is it at? Hold on. You can go back and you can see just what percentage of drugs they've been able to take off the streets there. Here it is. Annual reports right here. I don't know why it kicked me out. You can go look at their annual reports. I've shared these live before too. Shared them. You can go in there and you can go see how many drugs they took off the streets. There's all these reports here. You can learn so much about what is going on in this area. Look at what they took off the streets and seizures in 2022. Hopefully you can see this. Let me make it bigger. Look at the percent of drug seizures, 2022 to 2023. They took out 596 grams of methamphetamine. In 2023, 137. So what do you think went down in that area? Those are stats right there. They took off 412 fentanyl pills, and then in 2023, 214. So what does that tell you? The methamphetamines, the fentanyls drop, but look at the cocaine increase. Look how much more they took out. And the heroin, everybody that was on this, turn to this and look at what they seized. Yeah, look at that. And look at the increase in marijuana use. So when they started focusing on this increased. Crazy how that works. And they work hand in hand with the Latah Recovery Center in crisis. You know, the ones that we've seen on videos where, Molly, I sure wish you would go to rehab. Yeah, we've seen it. An increase in overdose calls and thefts associated with narcotics addiction. An increase in overdose calls. Was it a cover-up? I don't know. You guys decide. But go back and look at the witness statements. They tell you a lot without telling you a lot. And I appreciate every single one of you here with an open mind watching. Because that's something that we really need to take a look at. Is this what sparked the nation to start looking at fraternities and sororities and the Greek life and what's happening in colleges across the U.S.? Because that could definitely have an impact on what? On national security. How many leaders, let me ask you this. How many leaders in our nation have been or are affiliated with the Greek life? Current or past? How many leaders? Think about that. Tons of people. Greek life is all about shaping leaders, guys. They know that these people will be in positions of power. Fraternity and sorority life usually produces the best of the best to be leaders. And if there's somebody out running the streets that has committed heinous crimes, allegedly, do you think they should be put in roles of leadership over people like you and me? I mean, when I was in college, I wasn't in any sorority. I was a non-traditional college student. That means I was older when I went to college. I'd already gotten out of the Navy. There was no rushing for me with a non-traditional mother with 3 children going to college. So honestly, think outside the box they've put you in. I can see what's going on. I don't know if any of my mods are here right now. I know 2 of them are out. But when you look at it, you have to realize there are some things that are going on behind the scenes they don't want us to see, but we know it's the elephant in the room. It might be a psyop cover-up because they don't want anyone to know. Absolutely. I believe Bryan is innocent. And everyone that believes, I really wish I could do a whole freaking live on this, but I'm going to touch on this real quick. We have got to get people out of the echo chambers. Some people are just trapped in these echo chambers in this narrative that they have sold people by putting it on TV that he's guilty. There is a fantastic article that I read the other day, and I'm going to share it with you just real quick because, you know what, I'm not an expert in this field, but others are. Psychology Today tells you exactly what an echo chamber is. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please take 5 to 10 minutes to research. This was sent in by one of our loyal nesters. If you are trapped in the echo chamber, or you know someone who's trapped in an echo chamber, share this article. Share this article because it talks about how perception, conformity, and false consensus affect and shapes our realities. So if we know gut instinct that something is wrong, but somebody else is trying to say, oh, no, this is exactly what happened to me when someone said, oh, no, that doesn't make sense because this individual is this individual. And that is trying to send the false consensus that shapes reality. I know that when I looked at this document and it said tan skin, I knew what the officer was doing. He was narrowing it down to go find out who this individual was. It doesn't say how many times he talked to somebody. I'm describing a guy that's in a fraternity that's a blank and I'm looking for him and he's got tan skin. How many other officers on campus would know exactly who he's talking about? Well, the campus division is Dustin Blaker, guys. He knows these kids inside and out. Don't you think? Yeah. So that was one way. Being trapped inside the echo chamber is not a good thing. It's about perception, conformity, and false consensus shapes our realities. So if you have that gut instinct that says something's not right, I put a really good pictured how this explains it on my page. Let me see if I can share that real quick. On my channel. And I posted a little excerpt with a little picture about an echo chamber. Here it is. See this little article or this little cartoon picture? And it talks about the echo chamber of Main Street media. They're talking about it's safe and effective. I'm going to push a narrative onto you that I want you to believe it. And everybody in this box is, yeah, we believe it. We believe it. And all of us on the outside are not buying this BS. And we're saying, what? Please, we're like, please listen. I'm a doctor. Please listen. I'm a mother and a child of an autistic son. No one will speak to us. They don't want to speak to us. They just want us to believe them. They don't want to listen. They don't want to sit down and have a conversation. They just want to shove it down our throats. We lost our kid. They don't care. The data is concerning. So many injured. Keep out. That's what we're saying on the outside of this box. They don't want to listen. They want to shove everybody in this box to have them listen to their mainstream narrative. That's what the echo chamber is in relation to this case. It's an inflated agreement and reinforce that false consensus affect and references and overstimulates to the fact that only you will believe what I say. And anybody who objects or thinks differently or perhaps has a gut feeling is wrong. And they keep reinforcing this narrative by sending people that are probably being paid to support this narrative on social media. Yes, folks, there are people that are paid to push narratives. I've seen it. If you are a creator such as myself and you go into your account, they have these what do I want to call them? I don't want to say skits or guidelines, or it's kind of like you push a narrative. That's what it is. You increase and push a narrative and you get paid for it. I don't do those types of things. I'm not interested in that. My opinion matters because I'm my own thought process. And I don't go watch other creators and then get sparred an idea from them. I try not to, because that will lead you astray in your own intuition and gut instinct. If somebody sends me something, I'll take a peek. But I kind of laugh because some people are trying to guide you away from what you're actually exposing. And I think that's kind of funny because they're twisting really super hard to get their believers to believe them. I myself, I believe Kohberger is factually innocent. Yes, there was a component to the cartel, in my humble opinion, but it was not as great and substantiated as some people are making this believe. Do I think, humbly, somehow the frats and the sorority are involved? Yeah, it looks like that. It absolutely looks that way. And if there was a big cover-up, hence a tiny bit of a psyop, then who is Bryan Kohberger in relationship to this case? Because factually, he didn't have any connection to any of these individuals at 1122 King Road. What are your thoughts now? I mean, think about it. This echo chamber that we have been put into, Bryan Kohberger discusses it in his statements. In some of the statements with others at the school, he talks about echo chambers factually. Now, when you think about that, you have to think about, why would he even discuss that in a social context? Because it's important. He was basically saying, in my humble opinion, that we need to look at those echo chambers. And why aren't we thinking for ourselves? That's what I got out of his research. Other than, if you guys remember, I'll go back to the video. Let me pull it up. Let me grab it so you can actually see it for yourself. And you'll be like, wow. Wow. In the video I'm about to show you, where is it? July 2nd. Was it July? Hold on a minute. In fact, in this video, you can see exactly what I was talking about. I think it was July 2nd. Remember, everything is real. Nothing is planned out. If you're new to my live, where are we at on July 2nd? I must have changed it. Hold on one second. Let me go back. Here we go. I'm going to show you this video I did on July 2nd, before August 29th photos of Kohberger's reading library at home in his apartment in Pullman was. And I want you to take a listen. Trial for a reason and pushed him in the corner with the plea deal. Let me restart it so you get the full. I believe he didn't do this. This was poorly investigated. I believe they do not want a trial for a reason and pushed him in the corner with the plea deal. I am in as much shock and awe as you and many people out there in the social media community, in the true crime community. I'm one of the few that the documents in the evidence did not line up. And I'll be going live on my YT to talk more about it, the shock and the awe of this case. Now, they didn't want a trial for so many reasons. And I believe he was pushed in a corner to save his own life, but also to fall on the sword for others. And the reason I say this is because the death penalty is now off the table. Now let's think about life in prison or life on death row until execution. Which one would you choose? I've seen innocent people plea down to save face. Innocent people. I think this case will be talked about for a very long time. However, life in prison is scary. If this case allegedly is linked to the cases that I have been talking about associated with the individuals in that house, BK would have went to prison with the Aryan Brotherhood and all cartel members, citizens of the USA in that area of crime. Now, BK studied criminology. That doesn't mean he turned to be a criminal. What if he's in protective custody? Because some people in this case that are associated had been in prison with this brotherhood. If you're not watching the news, you may want to be informed in what's going on in your town, in your city, in your state. It's all around. Do I think he did this? Well, he said he did it. He admitted, he pleaded guilty to avoid the death penalty. Will I be following this case? Absolutely. As soon as everything is available, I am going to do a deep dive. But I think we already know on the surface what happened. Join me for more on the YT, and we'll talk about it. Be well. So when you think about what I said the day after him pleading guilty, doing a deep dive, that was a promise. Still a promise. The last part I want to go over real quick is that one of these reports in regards to the new photos that were released, this was tested for blood, and this was not blood at the Arboretum. That is what ISP reported. This is in fact not blood at the Arboretum. Don't know what it is, but they did test and it was not blood. So all the rumors and all the stories you've heard are finally getting answers. But just the sum of the smaller ones that we've had that provide answers, they're still hidden in these reports, guys. And we're not even seeing the reports from the FBI. We're not even seeing how they came up with Kohberger. We haven't even seen any evidence that corroborates he is 100% guilty. Until then, I'm going to keep digging, because I think we know by now what we're looking at. A cover-up. In my humble opinion. Alleged, of course. But do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit this like button. Share a few videos that you like, that you agree with. And share a few videos that you don't agree with. You, here, the nesters, have been sharing so much. People are starting to question, is he factually innocent? I've had 3 people come to me and say, man, I thought he was 100% guilty until I started watching a few videos. I started reading a few from the website we have. And yep, they're now understanding what possibly could have happened in this case. Only because we have shared truth. We have shared information that they're not getting anywhere else but here. And you know what? They might find some truth in other pages, but I'm not here for the show. I'm not here for the views and the likes and the clicks. I'm here to at least educate one person about empowering your civil and constitutional rights. And if one falls, we all fall. So please keep sharing. That's all you have to do. Do your part. And make sure you follow the call to action. What's that? Write him at least a letter, a book. You could write him a postcard, a quick note. You can write whatever you want. Just write. Because I believe he really needs some encouragement. So as always, thank you so much for joining this live, and be well.
No more hidden verdicts, no more secrets solved. Every voice is a weapon, every story be told. Innocent till proven guilty, that's our final decree. Under this constitution we stand forever free. Phoenix in the dawn, truth ignites the sky. Together we stand tall, no more asking why.